Howdy, with this video, I want to go over show you how to use the TEL databases. TEL stands for Tennessee Electronic Library, and that's going to be for reflection number 3. Make sure you read through the MLA medical essay assignment. You're going to notice that the part of the assignment is you telling the story. In fact, most of the assignment is going to be you telling someone's story and then putting research about whatever medical condition you're going to talk about into that person's story. So basically, you have to know somebody with this particular problem. It should be somebody you actually know in person. Not like Michael Jordan's hangnails or something. You don't know Michael Jordan, the basketball player, so there's no reason to write about him. I want you to pick a family member or someone you know, or it could be yourself, and discuss a medical topic and their experiences with that medical topic. Keep in mind, this doesn't have to be life or death. It doesn't have to be cancer or Alzheimer's. I've had good essays on peanut allergies, on teen acne, uh, some non-life threatening medical conditions. ACL tears is always a good one to work with. Um, but what we're going to start doing is we're going to start doing a research on the particular ailment. But eventually, most of the essay is going to be you telling that person's story and putting that research into the context of the story. And what that does, it limits the amount of research, and instead of trying to tell me everything there is to know about, say, breast cancer, all of a sudden, what you're going to focus your research on is that person's story and how that research fits into that person's story. It's a good way to limit the topic a little bit. So you should be thinking about a topic. For reflection number 3, you're going to go to the TEL databases. At least 2 of the sources for this essay should come from there, if at all possible. Once in a while, there is a topic that doesn't work well with the databases. But once you give it a try, and you're going to see there's some advantages to using a database article, which we'll get into here in a second. But for reflection number 3, I want you to find 7 sources for this essay, possible sources, and list those on a works cited page. Give the works cited page entry, and then give a little 35 to 50 word blurb about that source and how you plan on using it in your essay. You may get to you may read through it and kind of go like, it's saying something that's already been in this other source. It's fair to say within your blurb, say, I mean, I'd end up using this. But you're showing me where you're doing your research, that you're finding research, and that the research side isn't going to be a problem. Generally, it's not more. It's kind of limiting the topic and keeping your essay narrow and focused. Is the problem with this essay. But that's what reflection number 3 is going to do. You're just going to, again, give the works cited entry like I do here, and then give a 35 to 50 word blurb about what that topic is going to do. And this has nothing to do with the medical essay. Has been a pain in my butt, but that's a whole nother, that's not really a medical topic. But to go to the TEL databases, you're going to get into Google, and hopefully you can just type in TEL, see what comes up. It's coming up for me because I've already been here. You might have to actually type in Tennessee Electronic Library, but this is the one we're looking for, Tennessee Electronic Library. And people from outside the state can use it, but this is actually your Tennessee tax dollars at work. And if you've ever been in a public school or you go to Northeast State, they use the Tennessee Electronic Library too because it's already free and paid for. To get to the databases, we're going to go to all resources. You can probably just go ahead and do it from the search. But we're going to go here to health and type in health into the search engine. And it'll pop up the various health databases. The first 3 are all pretty good. Probably the best one is Health and Wellness. This is a database designed for students, particularly high school, college students, doing research on medical issues, which is you, right? The whole database is good for that. Some of these other ones, you might end up getting doctors talking to doctors, and you'll get a paragraph into the article and go like, I have no idea what anybody's saying to me here, because they're using jargon from the medical profession. But we're going to use this resource. For some reason, they like to add a couple extra buttons in here. Let that load up. And you want to make sure before you do a search that you know how to spell your condition. Be sure when you finally get your person and the condition you're thinking about writing about, make sure you get the specific name for that condition. There's different ways to do this. You can just browse topics. You can do a search. I like to use the browse topic down here under diseases and conditions. And basically, you're just going to pick whichever disease you want to talk about. We'll stick with lung cancer. That's the one I usually hit for some reason. But one thing you got to notice, these are authored articles for the most part. They're peer reviewed, they're updated regularly, so it has the most current information. We'll click on read more here. And you'll get a kind of an overview of lung cancer, the different types, the symptoms, all the kind of stuff you're going to want to talk about in your essay. And keep in mind that basically this essay is going to be a process essay, where you start off the person's fairly happy and healthy, then you start getting symptoms, which can depend on the condition. An ACL tear, usually you jump up for the ball and land funny on your knee and pop, and down you go, right? A condition like Alzheimer's, it takes years to develop. So the symptom stage might last quite a bit longer. But eventually you're going to have the symptoms, the diagnosis, the treatment, then the results of those treatments, the prognosis for for the condition once you get treated. The nice thing about this, you also see additional resources. So all of a sudden, this database entry, again, it's authored, it's peer reviewed, it's a good reliable source as opposed to Billy Bob's auto repair and lung cancer site. Even if Billy Bob might be a medical doctor at Johns Hopkins, right? Who knows? But quite often, you just want to go do general internet searches. But you'll find additional sources here from the American Cancer Society, Medline, Cancer Institute. So pretty good source. That's going to lead you to other sources, and you can read through those. Quite often, you're going to find that these sources tend to repeat themselves a little bit, but and that's kind of normal. But what's really nice is when you come down here, it'll give you the source citation for MLA 8th edition, which is the edition we're in. And also later on, when we get into APA, it'll do the APA reference page entry for you. But we're in MLA right now. You can copy and paste that and put that on your reflection number 3 and just do a 35 to 50 word blurb about what that source says about lung cancer. And you can just kind of say it's a general research source that gives an overview of the disease. You don't have to tell us every little thing the source says, but particularly what's the source say and how are you going to use it in your essay, or how do you think you might use it in your essay? It's still a little early on. But the nice thing is, annotated bibliographies like this are a pain in the rear end to do. But once they're done, your works cited page is done. All you got to do is cite sources using the first word on your works cited page and a page number if you have one when you get to writing your essay, and you're just kind of ready to go. All you'll do for your works cited page is remove the blurbs and the sources you don't use, and you're good to go. Also note that personal interviews count for this annotated bibliography. So if you're relying on a parent for information or a guardian for your information, you can include those on your works cited page and your reflection number 3. If you have any questions about it, be sure to let me know, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.